Just a minute. I'm checking.
Okay.
Have a good evening. Thanks, buddy.
It says I'm live, but I'm trying to log on through my phone to see if I see it. It hasn't popped up yet. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yes, we should be live, and we're seeing just the.
When do we go back live to the public?
We're live to the public. Oh, Dan, do you mean when do we go back meeting in person? I don't know. It depends on COVID, but we're on YouTube right now.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, when does our meeting open up to the public people that are on YouTube or whatever?
Right now, I just started it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order for Wednesday, December 9th, 2020, a little after 5 p.m. And we'll go ahead and let the record reflect that Bill Stoner, myself, Neil Taylor, and Dan Lamar are the board members present, and that the meeting was properly notified and advertised. And let's go ahead and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Garrison Brothers 94.
All right, the first item on the agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes from the November 18th, 2020 meeting. Everybody had a chance to review those minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes. Second.
Motion made by Dan and seconded by Bill to approve the minutes from the November 18th, 2020 meeting. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. The next item is the approval of the 2021 budget, and that's an action item. And our CFO, Sandra Morgan, is going to present a high level of the budget for the board tonight. Hello, Sandra.
Hi. Good afternoon. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
I am going to have John Leitner share my screen. All right. Can everybody see it?
Yep, it's coming.
All right. So a little bit of background. We've been working on the 2021 budget for probably the last 3 months. We managed to do a lot of work getting that together. It gets reviewed by the general manager, and we kind of vet that out as much as we can before it comes to the full board. And we did have a meeting with Aaron Smith and Neil Taylor as members of the finance committee for about 4 hours, going through the different numbers and calculations and how we come up with our budget. So what we're presenting tonight is really just a summary of that. So I will start with the electric utility. On the electric utility, our 2021 proposed revenue is about $24.2 million. That's broken out about $9 million for residential, $14.7 million for commercial, and about $500,000 for other. Our projected operating expenses are $23.4 million. $18.2 million of that is purchase power. We have purchase services of $845,000, and then our normal operations is about $4.3 million. We also have some interest on our debt of $274,000. So we are actually projecting a net margin for capital improvements of $526,000 for 2021. Our 2021 capital improvements for the electric utility are about $1.5 million. And that includes the ULIN upgrade, service to new facilities, the annexation loop fees, new and replacement transformers, system upgrades, AMI program, and an IT improvement. So once we take all that information and look at it, we come up with a little bit of an analysis. And what we've come up with on the electric utility is, the current rate structure was put into place in 2013, and it was to provide approximately $1 million per year for capital improvements, and that was averaged over a 5-year period. 2021 is the 8th year that the current rates have been in place, other than the purchase, the fuel cost, the purchase power adjustment that gets passed on for 10% to our customers. For 2021, our budget leaves a net margin of really $1.5 billion available for capital. And when I say that, is because you have to take the operating income and add back in the depreciation. So that leaves about a $1.5 billion. Our projected debt principal is projected to be $575,000, which leaves about $900,000 for capital. Reminder, our rate case was projected to be about $1 million, so we're still pretty much on target with that. Our capital improvements are $1.4 million, about $1.5 million for the year. So in summary, our cash levels will decrease slightly. However, capital fluctuates from year to year. And over the next at least 2 to 3 years, we do not project any base electric increases based on the current capital plan. Any questions on the electric utility?
I have done, thank you.
Okay. So on the water utility, we are projecting about $5 million in operating revenue. That's broke out about $2.5 million residential, $1.7 million commercial industrial, $500,000 for fire protection, and then a couple $100,000 for other. Our proposed operating expenses are about $3.5 million. $600,000 that's purchase services, and then about $2.8 million includes to run operations. We have some bond debt also there. The interest is $293,000, leaving us a net margin for capital improvement of about $1.2 million. And our 2021 capital expenditures are well above that $1.2 million, and it's $6.7 million. We do have Adjourn water storage in there of $4.2 million, and that is to be paid for out of a bond that has already been approved through our current rate structure. We have Syracuse Drive, $1.3 million, the AMI program, we have some property purchase, William Street Bridge reroute, facility rehab, water tower asset management program. And then we have some other miscellaneous items on there. And just for the public to know, we did have a working session and all these items were discussed in detail in that. So from our water utility budget analysis, the rate structure was put in place in 2008. So from our water utility budget analysis, the rate structure was put in place in 2008. Margin of 1.05, a net of 1.6 million available for capital and debt. Debt principal is about $231,000, leaving us $1.4 million for capital improvement. For 2021, our capital improvement is not covered by the bond, or about $2.5 million. So again, for the water utility, it does appear that our 2021 cash flow will decrease. However, because capital goes up and down from year to year, when we project out in 5 years, we do not see a need for a rate increase over those years based on capital needs. Okay, the wastewater utility, our proposed operating revenue is $5.8 million, about 5.9. Residential is around $3 million, commercial is around $2.5 million. Our proposed operating expenses of 4.2 million, and of that, 3.3 million is directly related to our operations. We do have some bond interest in there also of $500,000, leaving a net margin for capital improvements and debt of 1.1 million. Our 2021 capital expenditures are about 1.6 million to 1.7 million. Most of these items are standard that you see on here from year to year. It's our line repair replacement program, our AMI program. We're going to try to change out about 20% of our meters this next year. Lift station repairs, survey maintenance vehicles, wastewater studies, election system repairs, rebuilding old clarifiers, and other miscellaneous items. What does all that mean? So for the wastewater, the rate structure was put in place in 2016, and it was designed to provide about $940,000 per year for capital improvement. 2021 will be the 6th year that the current rates have been in place. The 2021 budget does leave a net of 1.9 million available for capital improvement and debt. Our debt is projected to be about $684,000, leaving 1.2 million for capital improvement. Our capital improvements not covered by bond is about 1.7 million. So again, our cash levels will decrease. However, based on our 5-year projection, we do not foresee a rate increase under the current plan. For our telecommunications utility, we're projecting about $863,000 in revenue. Residential and commercial bills about $250,000 each. Equipment rental about $274,000. Our proposed operating expenses are around $632,000, leaving a net margin for capital improvement of $225,000. If you look at capital improvement, they are projected at about $76,000 in 2021 for wireless maintenance and upgrades, IT improvements.
It's a bill, I'm back on.
Oh, Bill, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were off.
Yeah, it just dropped off. I don't know what happened.
All right, are we good to continue?
We good, Neil?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
All right.
Okay. So a summary of the telecom for the budget purposes is, the 2021 budget leaves a net of $275,000. The capital of $76,000. So it does appear that the 2021 cash level will increase, which allows for additional funds to be paid down on the loan. The telecom is projecting to continue covering it's around $350,000 at this point in allocated costs to the other 3 utilities, which when we analyzed that 2 years ago, that was 2% off of the rate increase. It appears that they will be able to continue to reduce the loan payable every year over a 5-year projection. And right now, we think that they will pay off their internal loan in 2023, which is fantastic news.
Yeah, Sandra, that's been a long time coming, and they've rallied and addressed the challenge, and it was at one time unattainable, but it is obtained.
Yes, we didn't think we would have seen it, did we, Dan?
No, we didn't. Kudos to everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, they have done an amazing job managing that company, and they watch every dime they spend, which they do at all the utilities, but Telecom has had to be really close with their numbers just to make this happen, and they exceeded our budget.
Well, and please point out, Sandra, that they pay what percent of the overhead cost?
They pay in total around 7%, but it equates out to being about $350,000 a year that they pay to the other 3 utilities. So over the past 10 years, they have paid that loan back at least 3 or 4 times.
Right. So if we do away with telecom, those revenues will have to be, that monies will have to be absorbed into the other remaining.
It will. And yeah, when we did the sewer year rate increase, it was a little over 2% more than the customers would have had to pay.
Yeah.
That was years ago, so it would be more at this point.
Yes, thank you, Sandra.
Awesome. So we are recommending, if there's no other questions or comments, that the board approve the 2021 budget as presented.
Thanks, Sandra, for that. I'll just add that Sandra is very thorough with the budget and answers all the questions that we have about the budget, and sometimes there's a lot of them. So thank you, Sandra, for that.
You're welcome.
All right, anybody else have any more questions on the budget for 2021?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, I'd entertain some motions.
I move to approve the 2021 budget as presented.
I second that motion.
Motion made by Bill, second by Dan to approve the 2021 budget as presented. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks everyone for that. Jump to the next item, which is approval of the 2021 city salaries, which is an action item, and this is a portion of the city salaries that the utilities pays. And Sandra's going to discuss that with us now.
Yeah, so each of you should have a letter that was sent over by Tanya Bayer, the clerk treasurer. And the city has requested again this year that the utilities continue to support a portion of the salary for the mayor, the clerk treasurer, and the deputy clerk treasurer in the following amount. For the mayor, it'd be $30,090. For the clerk treasurer, $17,204. For the deputy clerk treasurer, $23,868. So the amounts shown represent a 0% increase for both the mayor and the clerk treasurer, and a 2% increase for the deputy clerk treasurer. And I do apologize, I have the wrong name up there. So it is no longer Cindy Prime.
It's Mia.
Yeah, Mia Riley.
Yes,
So I did not get that changed, I apologize.
no problem.
So, one of the things I always like to throw out is, the city does support the utilities in so many ways. Promotional ways, I think Dan mentioned earlier. Anytime a new business comes into town, they get information from us. They help us on so many levels. And from the clerk treasurer side, the city is required to keep cash basis accounting records for the utilities. So in this, everything they do, they have to keep track of all of our receipts and disbursements, and then we convert it to a GAAP basis on our side. But the city does have to track all the cash basis. And then I will say this is an extremely common practice. I worked with the state board of accounts for 10 years before I came here, and my specialty was cities, towns, utilities, and I have never been anywhere where the utilities did not support salaries for these positions. So we are requesting that the board approve the salaries for the city officials as shown above for 2021.
All right, thanks for that explanation, Sandra. Anybody have any questions for Sandra or any further discussion?
No, I have discussion though. Thank you, Matt. I would agree that we owe the clerk treasurer Tanya Thayer and the deputy clerk treasurers for what they do in mechanically supporting Lebanon utilities. And I agree in supporting the mayor with the amount that we have authorized or put in our budget for him. But I would hope that he would squelch finally the conversations of selling utilities off. The utilities is one of the greatest assets the city of Lebanon has. And it has been discussed before that this could be a potential pawn to sell off, which would be a disaster for the city of Lebanon. So I would approve that the mayor be given his compensation subject to his approval or support of Lebanon utilities.
All right, thanks for that, Dan. Anything else for Sandra? All right, we haven't entertained some motions yet, so
Based on the information that I just suggested, based upon the limitations of what I suggested, I would move that we approve this motion.
Have a second out there?
I would move to second that. And I would be in basic agreement with what Dan said.
All right, got a motion from Dan and a second from Bill to approve the 2021 city salaries. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you guys. We're going to stick with Sandra here on the next item as well, and this it's an action item for laptop purchases. Hey, Sandra.
Okay, I'm still here. So this next request on the laptop purchases kind of falls in line with our standard workplace workstation replacement program. What we are asking is for the replacement of 14 office desktops with laptops and 15 docking stations so that we would have one extra in case something broke. Workstations were budgeted to be replaced in 2020. We had not gotten around to doing them, but the more Ed and I talked about it, the more we thought it prudent after everything that happened last year and having a lot of people have to be mobile, we would really like to replace the workstations with laptops. And that'll just help us become more mobile if we should have to. So we did have the IT department go out and price the laptops for us. And originally they priced out 25 laptops. Dell came in at $1,364.28 per laptop. And I'm gonna say this wrong, but Lenovo came back at $1,510.37. Since that time, we did reduce it down to 14. The price only goes up because Dell was already the lower price and compatible with our system. The IT department has recommended that we do go with Dell quote for 14 laptops, 15 docking stations, for the amount of $19,972.49. And we do have $20,313 remaining in the budget for workstation replacement, leaving us under budget by about $340.51. So we are requesting that the board approve the purchase of 14 Dell laptops and 15 Dell docking stations in the amount of $19,972.49.
All right, thanks for that, Sandra. And just a note, these computers are generally upgraded every few years to keep up with speed and technology. Is that right?
Yes. Normally maximum about 3 years. Sometimes they'll go 4 years. Sometimes it's 2, just depending upon there. But yes, they're normally on a rotating basis of about every 3 years.
Okay, and these laptops will replace some desktops, which will, of course, increase the mobility and you know, in situations like we face this year, people are able to work off site if necessary.
Yes.
All right, any other questions or discussion for Sandra?
So this, Sandra, this should cut down our overall cost for computers?
So it cut down our overall cost for computers?
Yeah.
I guess I can't answer that question. I didn't have them price normal workstations because of the mobility we needed this year.
Okay.
When we were sending people home earlier this year, we actually ran out of laptops, so some people didn't have the option. I do believe the laptops are slightly more expensive than regular workstations, but only by a couple $100 a piece.
And can I intervene in that? Cost of, and with all due respect, Bill, cost of is going to be more, but the effectiveness of the employee working from their home or remotely is going to far outweigh any additional cost of hard equipment. And, you know, I really believe that the pandemic is fair warning. Our lives are changing. So we need to have a staff ready to be effective remotely. And with the remotes or the laptops as being proposed, we will be prepared for that.
Yep, and Sandra, as you mentioned, this was slightly under budget, right?
Yeah, it's slightly under what we have left in the computer budget, yes.
Okay, that's good.
All right, any other questions for Sandra? I would entertain some motions.
I move to approve the purchase of 14 Dell laptops, 15 Dell docking stations, in the amount of $19,972.49.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to approve the purchase of 14 Dell laptops and docking stations and 15 docking stations in the amount of $19,972.49. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the advancement programs, an action item, and Sandra again will be covering this item for us.
All right, so I think as everyone's aware, for the past couple of months, Ed and I have been looking at different options on the advancement program, what we could do. The advancement program as is was approved by the board back in 2018. It has been updated several times over the past few years. However, a full market study has not been completed since that time. So for 2021, we went ahead and we completed an entire updated wage analysis using the report from APTA Public Power Salary Survey Report, the APTA Compensation Report, and there was 2 instances where I did have to go out to salary.com because we just couldn't find anything that matched. So after we did that, we took every single job title and we documented the source, description, page number, and exhibit for future reference of where we came up with the numbers to come up with this advancement program. Some of the assumptions we made was in all positions that were under market wages, meaning we were paying less than what the market said we should be paying. We adjusted those to match the market. In any positions where we were over market, we left our current positions the same. Everybody should have a copy of the new wage scale, and there was a lot of discussion in the working session. And right now, we are recommending that the board approve the 2021 Lebanon Utility Employee Advancement Program as presented. And this one might need some work, but we're also recommending that the board approve up to a 2% increase for any employee whose current salary range is outside of the maximum range permitted by the program, as well as up to a 2% increase for any employee who did not receive an increase in 2020 due to apprenticeship being put on hold. That was a mouthful.
All right, thanks, Sandra. Anybody have questions on the advancement program for Sandra or discussion?
No, I would make that motion.
Hey, Jeff.
A second.
All right, motion made by Dan, seconded by Bill.
I am?
To approve,
Oh, crap.
the advancement program
I wasn't aware of that.
2021. Any other questions or discussion?
It shouldn't be.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Just got a backache and I'm stretching, but okay. It's a little weird. So thanks.
All
Let
right,
me know.
thanks, Sandra. Busy night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you, Ken.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, next item on the agenda is for our water wastewater manager, Ryan Ottinger. It's the 2021 on-call water wastewater project management assistance. It is an action item. How's it going, Ryan?
Good, thank you very much. I luckily don't have near as much as Sandra, so I have a pretty late night. Makes me feel pretty good after I saw all what she had to go through. And also on a side note, she helped me out tremendously on the budget this year and made sure that everything was accurate and in place, and a lot of after hours emails, a lot of after hours work on her part. So on my end, I really appreciate all her help and her staff's help.
Thank you, Ryan.
No problem. This request is for the continued on-call and project management support in 2021 from Butler, Fairman, and Cypher, and their staff that is included, but obviously not limited to John Whiter, project managers, environmental questions. We get a lot of inquiries from the city about can we serve certain areas, and it is great to have an engineering perspective on this and to make sure that what Lebanon Utilities is providing to the city on these inquiries, or the EDC or food EDC or anything like that, what we're providing is 100% accurate, which is the most important thing for the growth and for future development. So this would allow for any on-call or any after hours or any help that might just pop up that is not part of a capital project or part of an ongoing project. And this amount was budgeted, or is in the budget for engineering for next year. So I would request, if there's no questions, the continued assisting with on-call water and wastewater questions or concerns in 2021 with the Butler, Fairman, and Cypher. But I'd be happy to take any questions that anybody might have at this point.
Thanks, Ryan. Any questions for Ryan on this item or discussion?
No,
I have done.
All right, I'll entertain some motions.
I make a motion, I move to approve Butler, Fairman, and Cypher to continue to assist with on-call water and wastewater issues as needed in the amount not to exceed $25,000.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to approve the 2021 on-call water wastewater project management assistance. Any other questions for Ryan or discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Stay right there, Ryan, because we got the next item is yours as well. This is the 2021 TAC meeting and plan review assistance action item.
Yes, this item has been a great success for Lebanon Utilities. It's such a good success for Lebanon Utilities that actually the city is using the same process that we're using, which has helped us streamline a lot of the TAC meetings and a lot of the comments for any developers or any large buildings in the industrial park, any housing developments, anything like that that's coming to town. We go to TAC. BFNS has been reviewing all TAC documents, assisting with comments for us and for the city, and this would allow them to continue to do that in 2021. They also provide plan reviews, so we get an engineering stamp along with my crew and my staff reviewing all the plans that come in. BFNS does too. It's an engineering stamp on that, or can correct any mistakes that are on the prints, which we all know are much cheaper to correct just in a drawing than they are once stuff gets put into the ground and the construction has already been. So the developers are actually very happy with the TAC process also, because everything seems to be so streamlined. And utilities we've really done a good job of streamlining that process with the help of BFNS. We also have monthly meetings to discuss any plans for utilities, but also the city plan department is also involved in those. We have joint meetings where a lot of the future projects are discussed and coordinated, and that streamlines a lot of the process behind the scenes that just wasn't always there on our end before. So this would allow this to continue. This is a budgeted item for $25,000 also. And so I would be willing to take any questions that we might have on this process or this request.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Hey, could you just elaborate on what TAC stands for the record?
Well, the TAC meeting is, so when somebody goes to a TAC meeting, I don't know the exact what TAC stands for. I do know that, let's say a new development's coming to town. They'll come to a TAC meeting, they will already have presented their blueprints or their plans. We will have gone through there, and in that way, at the TAC meeting, when they present that, we can present comments. And those comments will allow them to, ensure that they're abiding by city standards. Ensure on like the city side that the sidewalks are handicap accessible, the streets are correct, our water service is correct, the water line size is correct. So that basically gets the ball rolling on any potential new development or any potential new building, or even if it's a large remodel or addition to like the industrial park. We can go through the TAC process. John Leitner is here from BFNS. John, can you tell me what the acronym for TAC is?
Yeah, it's the Technical Advisory Committee. So really what it is, Neil, is it's made up of city planning staff and technical staff. The fire department is involved as well. And it's Ryan explained exactly what it is. It's basically a preliminary set of plans that a developer will bring to the table and kind of ask different things, such as, it's just a preliminary site layout that everyone's looking at, where we start providing comments, and we continue to provide comments all the way through to an approved set of plans, so that everybody's on the same page.
Good stuff. Thank you both for that explanation. Anybody have any other questions for Ryan or John?
No,
No, I got a statement. BFNS and Lebanon Utilities have worked well together for a number of years, and they give us a global vision of the projects that we are being challenged with or engaging with. And it's a very objective and it's very arbitrary, and they do a great job for us. So thank you all for everything you do and have done for us.
Thanks, Dan. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Dan. I agree.
I agree.
All right, I would entertain a motion if there's no further discussion.
I move that we move forward.
Second.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Bill to approve the 2021 TAC meeting and plan review assistance from BFNS. Any other questions or discussion?
No.
All in
No.
favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you for that. Ryan, I appreciate it. Next item, it looks like our meeting dates for 2021 board meetings. Sandra, is that something you have? I know it's generally set for first Wednesday after the first Monday and then every 2 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah, it's always it has to be the first Wednesday after the first Monday and then 2 Wednesdays later. And I know Teresa sent an email out with that information, but I'm not sure who all it went to. I could probably find it real quick if I need to.
I don't think you need to read them. I think that we all have them. I just wanted to confirm that.
Okay.
No, I received it.
Okay.
Well, I did not, and there's a reason for that. And if this is the appropriate time, Neil, I'd like to say 13 years ago, I was appointed to the Lebanon Utility Board by the Lebanon City Council, and I was honored with that. And I have seen so much change in this organization and in this community, and I'm honored to have served. And I want to thank everybody who have worked with me and dealt with my objectivity. And I hope that we move forward knowing that Lebanon Utilities is the greatest asset that Lebanon has. And Lebanon Utilities is an asset because of the employees. Everybody that works here makes a difference, and they make this a great organization. And I'm honored to have represented them, and I from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And I was going to mention that here in a little bit, but appreciate everything you've done too, and I'll elaborate on that in a little while. But
Sorry to pop your bubble, buddy.
no. So I'll take that as a motion to approve the 2021 board meeting.
A second.
All right, motion by Dan, seconded by Bill to approve the 2021 board meeting dates. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that carries. The next item is the approval of the claims dated December 9th, 2020 in the amount of $680,453.82. Any questions about the claims? Everybody had a chance to review those?
I move that we approve the claims.
Second.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Bill to approve the claims for December 9th, 2020. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item is any other business that may come before the board tonight. And I guess I'll just start by echoing what Dan was mentioning earlier, and then anyone else can chime in as they would like. But I want to thank Dan, as he said, for 13 years serving the utility board. He's always been very involved, and he obviously cares about the city and the utilities and the employees, and he's always one to stand up and speak that. So Dan, as a friend and co-member of this board with you for the last several years, appreciate everything you've done, service you've provided here, and I think that there's a lot of people that appreciate all the hard work you've put in.
Thank you. It's been a blessing. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Neil, if you don't mind, I'd like to reiterate all of that. I've been here for over 20 years, and you're not going to find a better board member, a better public servant, or a better person than Dave Lamar. And I wouldn't be the professional that I am today, in the position that I am today, without his guidance, without him helping me through some turbulence or any waves or any concerns that I had as a professional or just as a friend. So Dave, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And it's going to take a large set of cowboy boots to fill Dan's spot on this board.
Thank you so much. God bless you. I appreciate it.
Jeff, are you up?
Yeah, I wanted to echo Dan. It's been a pleasure working with you, and thank you for everything that you've done for the community. You will be missed, but not forgotten.
God bless you. Thank you. Well, and let me echo right now as to why this is happening. My health is good. We all know I sold my business, but I'm still very active, and I plan to be active in that business for several years to come. But we being Susie and I, my wife and I, have bought a retirement home in North Fort Myers. And I don't believe that it would be fair to any board that I serve on not to be available when we need to have a meeting. And I can't guarantee that. So that's why it's time for me to step aside and turn a page and give other opportunities for other people to serve. Lebanon Utilities is a great organization. It's great. And it's great because of all of what you do. Thank you. God bless you.
Hey, Dan, this is Ed. I just want to say I'm probably the short timer here, but you've been such a wealth of information and so helpful to me in starting out here. And I really appreciate you. And I'm sad to see you go, but I'm sure you'll be around.
Thank you, Ed. And let me tell you, I'm a phone call away. I mean, we've been through a lot. I can tell you what I remember, which my wife says is not much. But I do remember what we did, what our ideas were, and what we plan to execute. And that information is always there so long as am I, sorry. So, yeah, I'm a phone call away.
right, well, thanks.
God bless you.
Does that make me laugh?
Yes, I'm sure.
This is a segue into the party we're getting ready to have.
Well, thank you for the cakes I got.
All right, so I put a little something together. So I just want to thank Dan for his service with Lebanon Utilities. Over the past 13 years, Dan has been extremely dedicated to the city of Lebanon, the utilities, and the employees. What stands out for me most, really, Dan, is your relationship that you've always had with the employees. You never hesitate to approve employee benefits. And I know for me personally, on an HR level, you've worked many hours of overtime throughout the years looking at our health insurance offerings because you're the expert. And carrying out the benefits, just helping us figure out ways to make it affordable for our employees. In addition to looking out for the employees financially, I've seen that you've also been a friend to many and a mentor, and I think that's been reiterated tonight. Over the years, I know that you've often been used as a sounding board for employees because they know that you will listen, and more importantly, I think they know that you care. So on a personal level, I think what comes to mind for me most is how you helped guide me during board meetings and stuff. And, Ryan and I were talking about this the other day. You guys may or may not know this, but presenting at board meetings is stressful. Yeah, regardless of what we're presenting, we overthink it, we try to figure out how to start it, we mess it up, we leave out important details. And the one thing I've really appreciated is that when I do that and I get nervous and I leave stuff out, it seems like you always come to my rescue and gently ask me a question that reminds me of all the stuff I forgot to say. So I appreciate that, and you'll be missed not only by myself, but by the entire Lebanon Utilities family. And with that, I was going to have a party for you. Everybody got a bag, and nobody was supposed to open them. And it appears to me that several people already opened their bags and ate them. So if you can see me on here, Dan, and you have a bag like this,
I did.
I already opened it. I thought instead of reception, maybe we can have a Zoom reception and everybody can have cake.
Oh, God bless you. Well, thank you so much. Lebanon Utilities is great because of Lebanon Utilities employees, the leadership, the people that do the work. We have people that are dedicated at every level. We're so blessed. Thank you.
Hey, Dan, this is Bill. I just want to say, enjoy your new retirement home.
Oh, we will. We will. We'll be back and forth. Sue's going to be down there more than I will, but thank you so much. We'll have a house in North Fort Myers, and it's just wonderful. It's not fancy. It's functional, and we're so excited.
Okay.
All right, thanks everybody for that. Anybody else have anything for Dan or for any other business to come before the board before we open it up for public comment?
This is Jeff. Just one housekeeping matter. I believe that Ed has confirmed that we have not had any registrants asked to speak or to participate in the meeting.
No, we haven't. And there's only one person on YouTube, and I think that's me just making sure I'm doing it right. So I forgive me if I missed this, but did we already do claims?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So somehow I thought we missed. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I get, because I had a little technical issue and I must have missed it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. As we always do with our virtual meetings, which we've had a couple this year with COVID, we entertain any online questions, and Ed will certainly pass along to the board any questions that come in electronically, email or phone concerning board business tonight. So appreciate that, Ed. Sounds like we have nothing from the public, and it looks like
I'm real sorry. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless you all. Stay steady to the mission, and have a Merry Christmas and safety and health for your families. Amen.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
Looks like our next meeting is Wednesday, January 6th, 2021, so next year. We'd be welcoming 2021 in and leaving 2020, thankfully. 5 p.m., January 6th. Anybody have anything else before we entertain motions to adjourn? All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to adjourn.
Yes.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?